Boom. Here we are. We are live. We are live. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Security Tales once again. Once again, Chris is working from home. As always, Chris always likes to work from home. And we're going to go live on Tiki Talkie. Tiki Talkie. Tiki Talkie. Chris, can you see my new shirt?
Like, yeah, it's beautiful.
What does it say?
You should maybe read it. Stay humble.
Stay humble, Chris. Stay humble.
Mind you?
I'm ready. I'm ready to show you some 55-year-old abs, Chris. I'm ready to show you some 55-year-old abs. Oh, wait, before that even starts, tell me for a fact you don't like that Yoon health scale.
I mean, I like it, but I just, I've only had it for a day or two, so I had it, and I set it up right after I worked out, but I wish it had more information. You didn't buy that bracelet, did you?
No, I did not buy the bracelet, and I do apologize, everyone. I bought this scale called Yoon Health, but what I did, Chris, was also I paid for the program. Not that I need someone to educate me on the HIIT training and stuff, but to be honest with you, I feel at times when it comes to health, you need some certain type of motivation. Because when me and you used to work out back in the day together, we used to motivate ourselves, like, hey, you push for a rep, I'm going to push for a rep, so on and so forth. So I like their HIIT plan that they have on the plans on the app, because then you can go to it, you can hit the plan. And I like to do my hits at night between the hours of 4 to 5, because that's almost at the end of where I'm eating and I'm cutting out all my complex carbs, and now I'm doing a fibrous, and I'm only doing the last meal anyways. So I tend to utilize that. And obviously I programmed it also for a goal weight. So I love that it does the visceral fat, the BMI. I love that whole 9 yard, because it sets a little motivation for me to continuously keep balancing myself, and doing some stuff.
I would like to confirm it though. Maybe go to one of those places that weigh you in water, which I think, just to confirm, see whether or not the scale is accurate or not.
No, and I don't disagree with you, but the time and research that they put into this, and if you look at it, it wasn't like something I just said, oh my God, it just popped up here and read about it. I was actually looking at this over a year and a half ago. And not to switch the subject. So the wife has this thing called Neo M Sculpt. So remember back in the day, you had these electric muscular stimulations that you put on the muscle and it contracts the muscle, right? And then later on, you started seeing it being used at physical therapy places, because now when if you get hurt shoulders or something like that, you're locked into a prone position and you don't have that rotational pull anymore or movement. So they put it to develop, the muscle contractions, the tendons and ligaments repair without you just forcibly lifting up and tearing it out, So she has this machine. I fell in love with. I'm like, oh my God, honey, got to get this. So this machine is incredible. It does over 1,000 some odd contractions per half an hour. It also has the heat, which is emulsifying the fat because it's bringing the body up and breaking down all of the lactic acid, all the cortisol, everything going through contraction. Unbelievable. So when I was researching that before she bought it, I came across this scale. They were fine tuning it at the time when it first came out. So they just had the one that you stand on. Okay. But then I loved it because now they have that. Did you get the one that you pull the bar, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, there's another way to measure, which is what they should do.
Yes. And the interesting part about it is, at first, I pulled that thing up, Chris, and I'm holding it straight up like this, going, oh my God, it's almost a minute, and my arms are going like this. Then it started telling me my body was uneven, correct? So I don't know if it shows you left and right side uneven, right?
Yeah.
So then I started holding it up to my waist and properly, I blow out the wear just to get that form of contraction to hold. Then my body evened out. But I thought it was an unbelievable skill. I think more and more when you start to research it and get to know it, you're gonna love it. And the only thing that I don't like, which I've already written to them in the comment box, you have to weigh yourself every day. You miss 3 or 4 days, it actually backtracks and it actually shuts down. So I had to relog my system back in. So when I went away and came back, bro, it was all screwed up and it pissed me off because I started at 242 pounds. down to 204. And now it says I started at 208 from 204. And it's more or less, I don't care about it. I think it was more of a psychological thing. You know what I mean? When you want to see that number, like you want to go, oh my God, you don't want to see 208 to 204 and you've been doing it for 4 months. You know what I mean? So that kind of got me upset. But I'm telling you, man, anything you need some instructions on it, let me know, bro. I know that thing in and out. In and out.
You can, I mean, I use my phone, obviously. You can also sign on through your computer, right?
Yeah, you can sign on. You just got to have your login. But the interesting thing is you can also share it with everybody in the house. I can't share it for some reason. Every time she goes to try to log on, she can't have her own login. It's so confusing. So it's asking for my password, but when she logs in, it says users already used. So it's not even letting her develop her own. So I do have
your email or her email?
So you can share your scale, right?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to,
is she using your email to sign on or her email?
No, she's signing on as a new member.
Okay.
So when she signs on as a new member, she doesn't have to buy the plan. She could just sign on away herself. It's not even letting her do that. So it's kind of, I guess I shouldn't say I know all about it because that is really confusing. But you know what? She'll be here on Friday for the podcast anyways. So once she's in here, we'll figure it out anyways. But all right, let's start this podcast. Oh yeah, and by the way, congratulations on your journey. I know you've lost. You're getting down to ripness. What'd you drop down from?
I don't know, probably like 232. So I was 202 yesterday.
Damn, beating me, man. So
I feel, I don't know. It's easy to lose. Well, not easy to lose it, but I just feel like if I lose it too fast, because I can definitely see it in your face. Your face was much rounder before.
Yeah, I know.
And you get it. I hate it because you get. I don't like how it looks.
To me, it is what it is, bro. It's just you get like not trying to be like over the top about it, but then you start to see your body changing, and it reminds me back in the day, where we used to wear big clothes like Michael T. Gere, bum shirts, because we didn't want anybody like anyone that truly lifted never wore tight clothes. We always wore big clothes. You know what I mean? Remember? And then whatever. Sometimes we go do stupid things, and then we don't have our shirts off. We're walking on the beach. Everybody's like, Jesus Christ, I don't realize you were in that good of shape. Kind of brings you back to the old times. So now I hear everybody go, oh my God, you look so skinny. I look different. If you see me with no shirt on, it's like, oh, maybe you don't look so skinny. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. To me, 200 pounds is not a skinny person, even though people are used to seeing me at 240, 250. I just figure at this age, can't do it anymore, bro. My joints are killing. So
what's your goal? What are you trying to get down to?
I'm going to be honest with you. At first I was pushing for 200, but now because I still got a little pinch that goes there, I kind of want to get, I want to get that pinch. I almost want to get stage ready almost, so legs are very vast. Arms are vast, but, not to the point where I feel for the birthday, not the goal. Like Chris, we're different. We're 70 breed guys. You know what I mean? We know where we get to the point. It's nothing about anybody else. We do it for ourselves. We wear big clothes. We don't want people to look at us. But with us mentally, we have different goals and expectations than the new people. Like I see all these kids getting all juiced up and bloated big, then get on clenbuterol, trenbolone acetate, everything, and shred the hell up. And hello, Dr. Wong, thank you for joining us. And they're doing what are they doing? The Fitoplex, the DMSO, breaking it down, putting on like they're getting all shredded and then vast. And then once they're done, they're back to going reverse again. They're junking up and stuff like that. Now at this age, we're starting to understand and educate ourselves. Remember, dude, we used to put 500 pounds on the squat rack all day long and then 315 on the bench all day long. And, guess what, Chris? I don't know about you. I felt it. I've lost both kneecaps, both full thick tear tears on the patella tendons, both meniscus tear lateral, both kneecaps blew. I've lost right shoulder twice, full thick tears, triceps, biceps, latissimus, left side, even though I got run over by a car, was full thick tears with a tricep tear. And that's it. But it's like all this I know was from back in the day where we would push each other, not deep enough, sit in the hole. We have over 500 pounds on our back. Come on, dude. You don't need that anymore. Now we're learning isolation movements, contraction holds, things like that. And we're realizing that it's less stress on the tendons and ligaments, but we're still getting the stress on the muscle,
And I started squatting again a couple of weeks ago, and it's tough. So I went on the hack squat, and I freaking put 25s on each side.
Nothing to be in. Hey,
I was like, damn, what the fuck?
Chris, listen, one thing I've learned, power racks are awesome. I'm back squatting again. I feel so great underneath that rack. And the hack squats, I started out with exactly what you said. Now I'm up to 4 plates on each side in the hole, but I'm doing them different. I'm kicking the knees out to the side when I'm coming down to contract. When back in the day we weren't educated, I kept my knees straight. So that's the wrong movement. I'm constantly putting pressure on my tendons, my patellar tendon, and I'm not causing the rotation to help my thighs flexation muscle. So I've learned to properly sit in the hole, properly engage. It's taken me this long to really educate myself in the past year when it comes to it. But great conversation, great time. Hello, 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 everybody on TikTok. Thank you so much for joining us. I got my boy Chris, childhood friend, retired from Mass State Police Lieutenant, and my partner in crime on this episode of Security Tales. Thank you so much. So, Chris, update. We have YouTube going. We have Facebook going. We have TikTok going. And you're not sitting beside me. Once again, he's on the phone. He's on the TV screen. So I'm going to do a fast intro, Chris. And I know we haven't spoken today about much, but I'm going to give it to you since you're behind your big oak chair, table, whatever you want to call it. So what's up, everyone? This is your host, Felipe Montero, with my co-host, Chris Kosher, who's basically located on the TV set. You might be able to catch him on one of the side things. But I hope you're locked in, because we're going to go for another real one here at Security Tales, where facts cut through the noise. And this is straight out of Boston. Once again, me and Chris say what we want to say. And we're graciously, you can all argue about it and bring whatever. But once again, this is just what we think. So today's episode is a big, massive. It's like actually like a big thing to me, because the same people who try to take down Trump down are now the ones being dragged into the light. We're talking about former Obama era. Okay. I know you love that word, Chris. Intelligence officials. Chris, write down your notes, because I know you got to podcast it and look it up. Here we go. First name, Chris, is James Clapper.
Okay.
John Brennan. I don't know what to do for John Brennan, bro. And James Comey under federal investigation for what might go down as the biggest political hoax in modern U.S. history. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When I was reading this and it said that, and I was like, biggest hoax. To me, Chris, and please elaborate this for me, I think to me would be the Nixon era. I thought that was a big hoax, right? I don't know. I think that was huge, but maybe because it's a different time.
What are you referring to, the Nixon era? Watergate or
Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about the Watergate episode. I'm talking about him being kicked out. I thought that was huge.
Yeah, but he never got, I don't think he got kicked out of it, did he?
I thought he
never
did.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he got, no, I don't think so.
Where's my historian, Tommy Titus? Where are you, Tommy? Okay, so, all right, maybe we'll look that up and see, because I thought he was. So, for everyone who's been screaming Trump's guilty. So, Chris, I wanted to bring this up because obviously you know my stance. I don't have issues with no one. Everyone's like, you hate Biden. I've never said that. I says, I never can hate a man. Trust me, I've had something tragically happen to me. And obviously, Chris, you know, I wrote a book out of it and the whole 9 yards. I didn't hate the individual that did what he did to me. He was in a life, whatever so-called life, you know, he was a gang member, he was whatever. So whatever, but I don't hate him. I actually pray for him until this day, to be honest with you. He's part of my rosary. But I don't have issues of hating someone. So hate's a very strong word. And I wanted to point that out. But the amount of people that have such hatred for a man makes me interested in this man. Okay. So for the past 8 years, like, you literally got to sit down for this. The past 8 years, Chris, this has been going on. The legal shakeup. This all kicked off when Tulsi Gabbard, now the director of national intelligence, filed a criminal referral to Attorney General Pam Bondi. The claim that these officials knowingly suppressed intel that Russia didn't interfere in 2016 election and instead pushed false Trump-Russia collusion narrative to the public. So, Chris, I got to pause for a second because you do remember this whole Russia thing.
Yes, the conspiracy that they had something to do with the election.
Okay, now, was there 2 conspiracies at that time or was there only one? That's what I got confused with. So, was it a conspiracy that Trump used them to do something and then President Biden used it to get more votes? So I'm just trying to figure out which way, because I wrote down a bunch of crap, but I'm just trying to figure it out.
The conspiracy, I believe, is that, Trump, so Trump and Putin conspired for him to win the election, and then the other side of it is Obama tried to use, or whoever it wasn't Obama, whoever tried to use it, against Trump, to slander him and, dirty his name so that the other person would get elected. Who do you run against? Clinton, right? Clinton.
Yeah, I believe it was President Clinton at the time.
Conspired to, dirty his name so that she would win over Trump.
Okay.
So I think it's maybe 2-part, that they said that he did it and then they accused him of doing it to sully his name.
All right. That's what I get kind of confused with, because as I was going on, I was finding so much information, but it seemed like so much misinformation. So Bondi handed it off to federal prosecutor, and boom, a grand jury investigation is now underway. This isn't talk. This is a legal movement. Okay. Now, what I found interesting was who's in the crosshair, right? So you have James Clapper, who's being accused, all right, of faking intelligence to link Trump to Russia. I found that interesting. You have John Brennan accused of misleading Congress, right, and embedding the Steele dossier. Okay. Then you have James what's his name? Comey. That's a funny name. Allegedly pushed the collusion hoax from inside the FBI, right? Then here's the kicker. Once again, unlike everybody else right now, that's obviously in the right wing, I'm not pushing anything to make a statement on this. So what I wrote was, and then you have Barack Obama. Trump says this all came from the top. No evidence yet, but eyes are on him. Okay. So all these people that are doing these misposts right now saying, oh my God, he should be indicted. He did this and that. There's actually been no proof he's done anything. They're just saying because he was the president at this time, so far since I was informed about the information, that he did all this and that. And that's just misinformation, correct?
Yes.
All right.
They just, the lies are, unbelievable. And I will say also on both sides, the lies are just, if it gets into, people read it online, it's got to be true, right?
Well, exactly, which is really, to be honest with you and to be 100% truthful, I think it's just wrong. It's just like we're like 15-year-old kids. We shouldn't be discussing stuff unless it's validated, right? We shouldn't be turning around and giving misinformation to people. Obviously, me and you started this podcast because it was something that me and you break bread and everybody else break bread. Our boys out of town in the city, everybody just talks. And we figured, you know what? It would be great to just why don't we just do it live and just have a great time doing it? And then when we get bored, go back and watch how much of dopes we are. You know, last week, by the way, I want to give a shout out to Larry Labadini. Thank you so much for filling in last week. It was a riot, and I loved you pulling the spider and then jumping up like a biatch. That was hysterical. Thank you. And to my sister Maria, you brought comedy at the end, and you're always invited for the last 15 to 10 minutes for us to pick on you. And by the way, Chris, not to go off subject, every Friday now, Dr. Winnie Wong will be on, and Friday she'll be discussing on Blue Zone. So I'm very interested in finding out more about this Blue Zone. I thought personally we were going to talk about Smurfs, but I guess it's part of another country and stuff where you live longer. But no thanks to the 2024 Supreme Court ruling, former presidents are immune, right? They are immune from prosecution for official acts. So unless someone produces a smoking gun, Obama's likely untouchable, but that doesn't mean the rest are free to walk. Is that correct? We couldn't, unless he's a smoking gun, even if it's proven he did do something and had some type of a collusion.
I think Obama's free to walk no matter what, but the other guys aren't. But at the same token, you would, I don't want to use the word hope, but you would think that Obama would protect those people. Right? Well, I mean, they acted together, they did together. So, you know, if 4 people do a crime, you know, hopefully, you know, the one gets caught doesn't rat out the other 3. So,
a crime only works when the other 3 are dead.
No, I think it was, who was it? Somebody quoted that a secret, what is it? A secret between 2 people is only a secret when one person's dead. I think that was,
no comment to that.
that was a while ago.
Yes, and there's a very strong group that follows that, which we won't say their names.
I want to tell you that so Nixon didn't get tossed out; he resigned, and actually, it is 45 years ago tomorrow in which he resigned from office.
Yeah, I thought it was today, to be honest with you. So good catch on that one. So it was a resignation. I thought it was he was forced out. So isn't that interesting?
Once you get that high up, you never get in trouble for anything, right?
All right. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. So one of the things that I kind of wanted to start it out that way, and I find interesting, Chris, is I wanted to. So every time I speak to someone, and like I said, obviously I'm not that well educated and knowledgeable in the political world. I just know what I pay attention to and notice. So one of the biggest issues is when Trump got into president, one of the biggest things, right? One of the biggest things that I always heard, oh, it's because he's wealthy. He got in. He has all these charges on him. He's a piece of crap. He beat this. Well, no, he didn't beat it. He just paid his way out of it, right? Now, we both know President Trump's hated so much, right? From the Democratic Party and all these people that if he did have accusations or if there was a crime, I don't care who you are, you wouldn't get in the office. You wouldn't get in the office. So, Chris, I wanted to bring this up. Trump was accused of everything and beat most of it. Okay. I want you to understand he beat most of it. The media made him look like a criminal from the start. But let's go through the list of what Trump was accused of and beat. So, Chris, get your goddamn internet service going, brother, because here we go.
Give me a long list.
Leave my boy alone. Russia collusion, Chris. 2 years, 32 million. No evidence, no charges. Case closed. Okay? Charge 1. Wrote them all down, Mr. Kosher. And if you see something that I didn't write, make sure you bring it up. Second one, Ukraine impeachment. Impeached for asking questions about Hunter Biden. That's a strange one to me. Acquitted in the Senate. Okay? Acquitted because it was brought to the Senate. Okay? January 6th. Acquitted again told protesters to be peaceful. They twisted his words. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where they said he ordered them to go into the Capitol and do this and that. It's not what he said. They have it recorded. Love this one, Chris. Absolutely love this one. Do you know who Stormy Daniels is?
I do know the name.
What is Stormy Daniels associated to? What type of job?
Was it prostitute, stripper,
Prostitute.
porn star?
Porn star.
I'm sorry. Porn
Is it? Do we use the word porn star anymore, or do we call it something else?
What are you gonna call her?
I don't know. I'm just trying. I'm trying to think. Is there another term nowadays?
Real life sexual actress.
There you go. Real live actress, sexual actress. So Stormy Daniels, it was a weak case built on testimony of Michael Cohen. Remember Michael Cohen? Also the one that got paid to testify and also steal money, right? Stole a shitload of cash, right? Proven liar. But Chris, you know what the interesting part is about that case?
Yeah,
It's still ongoing.
I believe it.
Did you know that?
I know justice is very, very slow, and cases go on for years and years and years.
Okay. Now you have E. Jean Carroll, civil case, no criminal charge. Jury found him not liable only for defamation because we all know how Trump speaks. He says what he wants to say. It is what it is. Real estate fraud in New York. Prosecutors claimed he inflated wealth. No defaults on him, no victims, no crime. So, Chris, I thought that was pretty interesting because we've both sold properties we own. So property says it's assessed at 600,000, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Are we gonna ask 600,000 for it?
Nope.
What are we gonna ask for it, Chris?
Million.
Why?
Because it's worth $1 million. Assessment has nothing to do with property value.
Boom. That's what I wanted to say. So he inflated. How do you inflate when everybody does it?
I don't know this for a fact, but I think it was probably somewhere along the lines of maybe he's looking for a loan for something or something along those lines. So they want those assets. So he says his assets are worth whatever, 2 billion when they're really worth 1.5 billion. That's what I'm guessing. And
Well,
like I said, it is a guess.
Okay, let's not guess. Let's not guess, Chris. Let's just do this. I know for a fact when I was 19 years old and I was looking to sign for a car loan and I didn't want to use my mom to co-sign for me, when I went to do it, I think I was making maybe 30,000 at 19, if that, or maybe 25K. I actually put that I made 40,000 because that kid I was purchasing the vehicle at that age told me, "Oh, no, bring it up." So obviously, if I did that and this kid's telling me to do that, how many other people bring up what their net worth is?
Oh, absolutely.
So do you feel it was just a hit on him, like to turn around and say, you know what? It is what it is. He said he's only worth 1 billion, but he put 2 billion. Isn't it the job of the person you're getting the loan from to investigate what your real assets and net worth are and then say, this makes no sense. Your ROI is much higher than this. You have more money going out. So how do you have this? Right? Because you have to disclose it by all your paperwork, correct?
Right. You would think that they would do their due diligence to see what your money's worth when they're loaning you probably $100 or $200 million. That they would do their due diligence and not just take what you write on a piece of paper as fact.
Absolutely. So you're telling me that these people gave him the loans and gave him everything, and then because they did this big investigation on the outside on him, they turn around and says, "Oh my God, he lied here." Do you know how many people they could do that to? Do you know how many millionaires, bro?
Yeah.
You see it all. You see it all the time, bro. You see TikTokers jump on TikTok and tell you what, my net worth is $5 million. Then you go and research them; they're worth $500. Okay, So then you find out all their people are bots or all their people are paid for or whatever it is. But it's just kind of like that's the game, like it or not. And if you as a money lender you do not go and investigate, that lies on you.
Right, because, you can figure out what a property's worth, and then on the other side of the coin, what you owe on a mortgage, if someone can find that out, it's not difficult.
No.
I believe that's public record.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could search it right now just to see if you own a property or not. Like Jesus Christ, it's like it's not something that's not valid. I could find out who owns that house on this street. Look it up; it tells me. So it's not
Right,
an
but I
issue.
think you also find out how much I owe on my mortgage, because I've gotten paperwork from people trying to loan me money, saying, whatever, you owe this, and they were pretty close.
Yeah, so you know
So
that's interesting shit. So I wrote down some talking points. So first of all, because that's why I like my co-host, even though I like him here in person, because I can push him and screw with him. So one of my points, Chris, that I wanted to ask you, do you believe is this justice finally being served or just payback on politics? Because this is $1 million question. Is this a revenge tactful or is this really justice? You know, I kind of wanted to
with
know that because I want to know the difference of how left and right think and do they actually think different? And is it vengeful, like, oh, screw them, finally something we can get them on? Or is it just like it's not fair because it's political?
I think it's each side saying, like, say for example, I did something wrong, and then and then you do something wrong, and I say, hey, Junior did this, Junior did that, and then you're like, well, okay, well, Chris did this, Chris did that. So I think it's a little vengeful, but at the same token, it's in an effort to get the truth out there. And if it's the truth, that's fine. I'm fine for it. Of course, you're not going to hear the truth when they're in office. The fucking truth is buried. You don't hear the truth till later. So if they really did it, I'm fine with it. It's because it's not about both sides. It's not about so much about now. They're preparing for the next election already.
Yeah.
The Dems are trying to get their crap together because their party is a mess, and so that there's two ways about going about it in life, and I know which way you go, which is a good way. You can either pull yourself up or push somebody down, right? So both have the same, kind of can come to the same outcome, but it's you either push yourself up in life or you shit on somebody and push them down and don't bring yourself up. And, that's what they're doing. They're just shitting on each other. I kind of wish that sometimes politicians would just grow the fuck up.
Well, and that's funny you said that. And I love how you made a statement and you said exactly where I was going to the next point. And the reason why was it was a setup towards this question, which you're absolutely right when you say, why doesn't everyone just grow up? Because it reminds me of a kiddie camp or nursery school. So, how do we restore public trust in the DOI, FBI, and CIA? Like, let's not sugarcoat this. Public trust is in the gutter, bro, because you would never expect people that are in these political positions to be so childish. Doesn't matter who you support of Democratic, Republican. It doesn't matter to me. We should all act like adults. This is supposed to be civil, right? Because we're in that type of position. Like, do you think we're ever going to get it restored?
What's it?
Like all this crap that's going on in house. Like we're talking FBI guys, we're talking CIAs, like all these people are involved in all these situations. Like, how do you get this all straight? Do we fire everybody and then start from the beginning? Like, how do you do it?
If I had to guess, I don't think anything will ever be clear. I think there'll be accusations. I think there'll be some half truths. I think we'll learn a certain percentage of what they want us to learn. But I think a majority of it will go. We won't know. We'll never know. You will never know the truth about anything. I don't think, especially that high up in politics. I mean, look, didn't they supposedly release the tapes or all that information, JFK's assassination, right?
Yeah.
Because it's been like what, 60 years or whatever.
I don't
right?
know. I don't know the
Yeah.
amount of years, but yeah.
Yeah. Do we still know the truth?
Here's
I
what's
don't think
weird.
so.
You just said that, and what pops up, because you know I don't sleep, so it pops up. I'm like listening to a book, and pops up a video thing. So I said, "Oh, I wake like I get up." It was like at I don't know 3:05 or something in the morning. It was a weird number, 3:07 I think it was. And I hit the video, and the video shows the vehicle, and the vehicle it basically stated, "Are you still gonna believe the lie?" And then it was saying that it was the person driving the car because before he gets shot, the driver you see turn his head slightly and his left arm leaves the steering wheel. And then it appears he's doing something as he's looking behind. And the video was saying that he's the one that actually shot him from inside the vehicle. Did you see that video?
I didn't see that. But what did he do? Shoot him over the shoulder?
Yeah. Yeah. They
I
said,
think you'd see it. I think you'd see a gun. I think you'd see a flash.
well, they said you can see that. So it was very hard for me to stop and see, but it was interesting. It was right where he was bypassing, and then there was a sign, and somebody's filming it with like, I don't know, those old cameras, those what are those 38 millimeters or whatever. I'm not a camera
Yeah.
guy, but it was like one of those because you could see it like clicking and pausing. And then it shows him going like this, and then he comes across the sign, then automatically, because you've done it, like when I gone to protection school to do driving, they have you when a client or your protector, you're sitting in there and you're driving your principal, and let's say you get raided in the front, you have to reverse the car. Not only can't you turn your head all the way around and put your hand over like we normally do and turn, they teach you to look down to your shoulder and use your vision. And I can never say the word, is it peripheral or whatever? And you don't move your head because you still got to look forward because you're still avoiding the people coming at you, but you're turning. And that's exactly how the guy that basically was driving the vehicle did it. So he could see in the front, but he had his principal in the rear. So when you do protection, that's exactly how they train you in the protection driving school, how to get away. There's so many other things to it, but you never turn your head all the way backwards to drive backwards because you need to look in the front and you need to look in the rear. You know, while you're protecting your principal, you want to make sure at all times the whole 360 in the surrounding, you have visual view. So it's pretty interesting. But maybe that's something we should do next podcast because I'm interested in that. So one of my things, Chris, I wanted to bring up too is if Obama era officials faked intelligence, what else did they lie about? That's the dangerous part of this whole case. What else did they lie about, bro?
Hundreds of things. Like I say, we know, like we know 10% of what goes on. Probably a hell of a lot less about anything.
But isn't that shameful that we are? What's the quote? We are the people. And yet,
yes and no. Truthfully, you know, I'd like to know things, but at the same token, if it's about national security or something like that, like when Trump moved those 2 nuclear subs to, you know, towards Russia, you know, I don't think we should. I don't need to know that.
well, I don't think anybody needs to know that because now Russia will find out.
Right. I mean, Russia will probably find out eventually, but you know what? Why should we tell them? It's pretty freaking stupid. But I'll bring up another point, which was pretty cool. Remember, you know, when we dropped the bombs on Iran?
Well, step one, Chris, it's not cool, but if we get the people that we want, then it's awesome. But if it takes other people that shouldn't be taken, it's a sad day.
Okay. You know, all right. When you become a bleed not, no. The cool part I was saying, the cool part I was referring to is how they used a little misdirection where they moved the I can't remember exactly where it is, but they moved the bombers to a certain area, some of the B-2 bombers, and then they came in from another way. You know, so they kind of like led us to believe they moved some B-2 bombers close on some island. And I can't remember, you know, exacts behind it. And then what they did is they flew the other B-2 bombers from a far, far away place and came in from a different direction. So it's kind of like, hey, let's move these bombers here. And now you're keeping an eye on those, right? You're watching those bombers. And yeah, we're coming around back, bro. You know,
So
they flew
misinformation.
Like 28 hours to get there. Huh?
Yeah. So basically misinformation. We're coming north, but in reality, you might see us in north, but the real deal's coming from south.
That's it.
Well, and that's great because that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. That's why we shouldn't. That's why we don't need to know everything.
Well, and that leads to this question: why was the Steele dossier even allowed into the courtrooms? That's what should piss every American off. Like, why? Why was the dossier allowed? Like, why did it become public knowledge in the newsroom if it was unverified, bro?
Yeah, no, true. Everything should be vetted before it comes out.
So it's pretty interesting what slips out in certain terms of individuals is what they want that work to benefit them. And it doesn't matter that they violated any legal means to do it, but they just did it, right? So one of my biggest things is Trump's been accused, attacked, impeached, and he's still standing. What does that tell you? Okay. It tells you he's the most resilient political figure in U.S. history. I don't care how much you hate the guy. Think about everything that this guy, even him being shot, that's fake, right? He made that up. He had a professional person that risked his life that got shot and killed to help him fake being shot. Right?
No, crazy.
So
because if he was off by an inch, he'd be dead.
Exactly. Think about what you just said, bro.
We'd have President Harris in there right now.
So once again, I'm not trying to bring it to me, and you were in my life when this happened. So when I got shot in the head, right? Think about it. It came within inches of what happened to me, happened to him. And trust me, and you know it was one of the most horrible 3 years of my life rehabbing back. And this guy's a villain, man. He's a straight like everything about him jumped right back up yelling. And what was he yelling? Freedom, something, right? Yelling something, and that's phenomenal and that's incredible. So if this was done to Trump, could it happen to any of us next? That's the part we can't ignore. You know what I mean? Like, how do you ignore that so many people can get away with things like this? And it's this high up. Imagine stuff occurring at our level. You know?
It would be unbelievable what would be going on right now. Having that laughing hyena in office.
Isn't it going on right now?
What's that?
Stuff that's occurring and happening?
I mean, unfortunately, you're never going to stop it.
Sorry, Facebook. I got to charge my phone. Here we go. Exactly. It's never going to stop. It's never going to happen. Everyone that's falsely accused of charges or things that are being brought up. So listen, that's why.
Wait 1 sec.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Here's probably one reason why people accuse people of things like whatever. I accuse this guy of whatever, something horrific. I don't even say what it would be. So I accuse this guy of something bad. Now the onus isn't on me so much to prove that he did it. Now it's on you to prove that you didn't do it. Like I said, Felipe did this, this, and this. And they're going to be like, well, how do you know? Whatever I know. But now the focus is going to be on you to prove that you didn't do it, even though I just said it. And even if you kind of prove you didn't do it, there's going to be a certain percentage of the people, who knows, 20, 30, 40% of the people who are still going to have doubts whether or not you did it. And it could be completely fake. But there'll always be doubts. And that's what they like to do. They put the onus on the person to prove that you didn't steal, you didn't pay off the porn star, whatever.
Yeah, it's the burden of the proof. You know what? What's that movie with Mel Gibson? And I loved one of the lines where he was like a Scotland soldier or something like that. What was that movie? And this guy says, y'all will something, I think his name was. He goes, the stories I heard about you, you were 10 feet tall. And
Oh, I love that. I love that movie.
yeah, what was
Yeah,
it? I
like
loved it.
back, it's set hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, it was Scotland, and he was like something, but perfect line right there. People blew him up to be something that he wasn't, and like he killed all these people and did all this, and he's 10 feet tall, and so on, so on. So I thought that was a pretty good thing. So listen, Chris, that's why we do this show right here on Security Tales, to bring the real, raw breakdown, no scripts. They try to bury Trump, but the dirt fell back on them. And now the people who pointed the finger, they are finally under the microscope. Let me know what you think. DM me or give us your thoughts. Share the episode. If you're in Boston, link it up. I'll next time stay sharp, stay free, and never back down. So now, Chris, I wanted to switch up. Okay. So I know we were discussing crimes, immigrations, and immigrants and everything, and you having the law enforcement background and me having the security company and PI stuff. We see so much. So I kind of wanted to kick something that I found very interesting. So I want to discuss Boston crime segment. Okay. Did you see this moron with the chemical handkerchief? Did you hear this?
I saw something about that. Did he try to kidnap some kids or something like that?
Bro, this story is probably one of the most strangest and most disturbing crimes, right? That just happened in Boston recently. And it's exactly the kind of case that makes you question what's really going on out there. Because, Chris, look at our age. I've never heard or seen somebody use a chemical handkerchief outside of a movie, bro. What is it? Chloroform or something, correct?
That is correct.
Bro, where do you even get chloroform?
You might even be able to get it legally,
Oh, look, we got Crazy Maria's going to join us in the mist.
Not crazy.
All right. So, Maria, we're still talking, everyone. For those of you that have been 3 weeks, it's been with Maria showing up for her last
Moments
time.
with Maria.
Yes, moments with Maria. So, Maria, right now, what we're doing is we're discussing this interesting crime. You know what, Chris? Since my sister's here, maybe she's had it happen to her. Maria, back in the day, you ever had a date that tried to chloroform you?
Yeah.
See? Told you, Chris.
Whoa.
Knew it, bro.
Yeah.
Say hi to TikTok, Maria.
Hi, TikTok.
That's my sister.
Please, I didn't think they would have to.
Right, me and you. I'm like, where we ever? Oh, no.
That's not nice.
Boom, boom.
But wait a minute. Are you talking about like date rape?
No, we didn't
Stuff?
go to date rape, but because I don't know if you've seen the news story in Boston. So there was a news story in the Boston where a guy, 69-year-old guy at that, had a handkerchief with, I don't know the chemical yet. So here's the story. A 69-year-old man was arrested after allegedly attempted to place a chemically laced handkerchief over the mouth of a 13-year-old boy on a busy Boston street corner. Bro, in the middle of daylight in front of everyone.
That's crazy.
Right? The boy later described the moment as like facing your biggest fear, a random attack that felt more like a scene from a horror movie than real life.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Why this is ridiculous and chilling to me? Bizarre method, right? Which we just discussed. I know back in our day, we were dealing with what? Roofie, I think it was.
Roofies.
They were placing what was it, Chris? What was it?
What's that stuff that you told
Company-
me?
No.
The one that has no taste or
Yes.
smell.
GHB.
GHB. That's what
So
happened to me.
GHB to us back in the day, we used to take it to basically calm us down. The company in Living used to sell it, and you could buy it from anywhere. People started realizing you could put it in drinks, and it was tasteless, and all of a sudden it makes you kind of woozy because it's supposed to help you sleep. But let's just break this down. Bizarre method. A chemical handkerchief is unheard of, even for a Boston street crime in front of people. It's a brazen location, and I have to use the word brazen. This happened in public broad daylight, no fear, no hesitation. Like, what's going on?
But where
Right?
was this kid? Where was his parents? Was he just walking?
13-year-old kid. Were your parents with you when you were 13?
You know our mother.
Yeah,
probably.
but she wasn't with us all the time. Stranger Than Fiction. It sounds like something out of a crime thriller or sci-fi movie. So here's my question to you, Maria, because I found it interesting. So when I had asked you, you haven't dealt with a handkerchief or any type of situation like that, you go, yes. So I think eager minds want to know what the hell are you talking about?
And the crowd goes. Well, I was kind of confused as far as like what you said, chloroform.
Chloroform, correct.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's chloroform. That's why I put chemically laced. That's all I know. I'm once again. Me and Chris I was like, you ever heard of
for eager minds awaiting, I did not get chloroformed, but I did get roofied 3 times.
The first time wasn't good enough, Chris. I'm back again.
Wow.
Oh yeah, not good
You gotta keep your
situations.
hand on your drink there, Maria.
The first time was my first year in college, and we wanted to have a good time with some people because we were new in California. So we met these older gentlemen who took us out to dinner and had no idea that they had put, GHB in my drink. And
I think I do remember this. Just when you were in California in college, you called me up, and I go, "You all right?"
It's not good. I almost quit school. I mean, I don't want to get into, scary stories or anything that's nasty.
No, but you should, because there's so many people that are watching this that have children that are going to school and need to understand it's going to be their first time drinking, their first time away from their parents, and they need to educate themselves and realizing something, saying not everywhere is safe to go and have a drink.
No, and you don't trust anyone. And
don't even trust your own friends.
No, and I had to learn really hard, really quick, that when bartenders, because the other time was in New York, they were in cahoots with the party crew that I was with. And I was with friends who abandoned me basically and left me in a terrible situation. What was that nightclub in New York that had the guy on the stilts?
That was my place, Webster Hall.
Webster Hall.
Damn, shout out to Pat at Webster Hall. Mad love,
Pat. Is it even open?
Yeah, it's still open.
Wow.
Yeah, the manager, I don't know if Pat's still there, but that guy used to take care of me all the time. Great guy.
Yeah, so the bartender was in cahoots with the people, some guys that we were with. It was your ex-person. We'll keep her name out of it. But they roofied me, got me out of the club, and took me back to the place that I was staying with the friends, but the friends didn't realize that I was gone with the other person. And I woke up in a very terrible situation, and I did not know what happened to me, but I was roofied.
Okay. Not a good story.
It's not a good story, but I'm very happy because I think now women they put, for guys also, nail polish that you can dip your finger in there and it changes color.
I've actually never heard of this.
To see if
we should look that up and promote the company that are doing that.
Yeah, because you can see if you've been roofied. But even holding your drink out like this and having a conversation, and they'll drop it in your cup or whatever they're doing that's putting the drug in there. But I get shaken up by this because it's such a reality of crazy bad things that happen.
Well, I was taking something and making a
I know,
and comical thing,
but
now
to be funny.
Now I'm
funny.
distraught. I'm happy this child is safe, but in my head, I'm just thinking to myself, here's a pedophile that needs a beating. This guy needs to be chloroformed and waking up with something that he can't walk for the rest of his life doing, and I mean that truthfully from my heart.
This is a dumb question, but do you make chloroform or can you buy it?
Chloroform is made. I don't know what chemical compound it's done with, but it is made. So, Chris, one of my things I wanted to say, because obviously 26 years on the Mass State Police, this wasn't a robbery, bro, right? It was a chemically based attempted assault that deeply, deeply unusual and terrifying. So think of this. In my head, I'm thinking to myself, this isn't something that one guy just thought of that day to do. You understand what I mean? Because we know about habitual offenders and crimes and stuff because we've dealt with incarcerated people and individuals. So do you think this guy was like, oh, all right, you know what? I haven't been lucky, taking a child. Let me bring chloroform or whatever chemically based. Do you believe this is the first crime? And I hope the police definitely investigate this even further. Like, do you think it was a one-shot deal that occurred and happened?
No, I think he's done it before, and he'll continue to do it again when he gets out of jail or whatever happens to him. In Boston, he'll probably go to jail for like what, 2 days?
I was going to say a day.
That's
A
terrible.
day. We got a case in 2 years because we're so backed up. It wasn't really a crime because it wasn't committed, even though he tried to do it, because we're Boston.
How was he caught?
The kid ran away. The kid got
So the
away.
kid got
Yeah,
away
the
on
kid
his
got
own.
away.
Got away.
Yeah, he got away. So one of my questions is this, and to be honest with you, I don't even care. There's no sympathy in this. Was the man mentally ill, or was this a calculated predatory act? Okay. Where do we draw the line between crime and delusion? So some people will say, well, he needs mental
Rehab.
Yeah, rehab.
Rehab.
Yeah, perfect term. Needs mental rehab. So now we got to go use, well, he sits in front of a judge. They say, oh, he's 69 years old, has no family, has no one to talk to. So now all of a sudden, we're going to basically put it, he had delusions of this and that. It wasn't an attempt to do what you think he was going to do. It was because he needed a friend. He was going to take him home to talk. There's so many outs to this that's really pissing me off the more I talk about it. Really. Tommy Titus, what is up, brother? We switched the time until freaking 12. Oh, I don't know where Chris went.
I'm here. I'm just listening. Well, I got answers to your questions. It's not legal in the United States, but you can have it like everything else. You can have it delivered or buy the chemicals yourself and just make it yourself, the chloroform.
You can make it yourself.
You can make it yourself with different things, and it kind of contradicts itself. It says that it's not cannot be purchased as a consumer product, but that doesn't mean it can't be purchased, as a commercial product. And I mean, shit, you can buy anything online and have it mailed to your freaking house. So, people are having all kinds of stuff mailed to their house. I don't see why they can't have chloroform mailed to your house as well.
Isn't crystal methane? Crystal methane, you can make that from household products, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, you can make it.
I don't know how to make
a
it,
small amount in a soda bottle.
Yeah, so I guess
not that any of us know that, Chris. All right, we don't know that.
And, it's that's why they were locking up Benadryl for a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm on Claritin D and I have to show my ID every time.
So look, here's the interesting part, and this is what I was thinking of myself. I remember when we all hung out and we're all doing our Boston thing, coming out of nightclubs. And if you hung out at a place, everyone was together. Everyone looked out for each other, right? What happened to the Bostonians? What is it? We're no longer more aware of rare, disguised situations and issues that occur. Like, I'm thinking to myself, if I'm standing there in the corner and I see this son of a bitch run up to a little kid and put that in, there is no question beyond the fact, I don't even care how old he is. I am taking down this piece of crap because you're in our city. You're a guest, you psycho, you piece of shit, in plain English. You're a guest in our place, okay? And you live here, you pay taxes. All you people that live here, you should protect your own, meaning your people that are here. Like, I guarantee, Chris, the more and more we find out, this guy ain't even from here. If I'm going to tell you, you know what? I think, should schools and families discuss this? I think you should definitely, I implore you to discuss any violent act that can protect your child. That's part of you. That's someone that you built and someone that you manufactured out of your own DNA system. Imagine the hurt, the parents or anything like me, just hearing about this and having a daughter. I can't even catch my breath, let alone just hearing what my sister just said to me. I want to find out who these sons of bitches are and go find them and have nice conversations, even though this is 30 years ago. But it's like, what do you do? Like what happened? What happened to the community?
Well, I would hope that nobody saw it, and that's
Where's
why,
Chris's
or,
face?
you know, I mean, shit, I
Calm,
can solve
man.
this problem
Come on,
with
Jim.
$1.
So sick.
You know, how much does 38 cost?
I'm not
38
gonna,
to-
once again, I'm not
38
sponsoring something like that.
38 to the back of the head.
This got really
no,
deep today.
no,
Whoa.
no comment.
Come on, it's
Listen,
the guy who tried to, stop this fake facade.
it's not
Somebody tried
fake.
to-
Hold on.
somebody
I'm
tried
not,
to-
hold on,
somebody
Chris.
tried to kill-
I'm
kidnap
not,
a
I'm
kid,
not
should be
disagreeing.
Executed the next day.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But like it or not, because we also have TikTok right now and it just shut us for a second and hopefully we go back. There is no disagreement, and you know this. I've already said it many times that to me there's no fixing. I the amount of times that I work behind the wall, I see the recidivism of everyone coming back, and especially child predators and rapists. They're continuously coming right back. You know how I feel about them. You know, I know that there's crime and criminals, but I don't hold guys that basically go in and rob someone, or even the guy that shot me. It is what it is. To me, that's a crime, but it isn't something that I'm gonna hate, even though I know it happened, or something happened to somebody I love. But I have such hatred for these people that it's beyond the fact. And this guy just kind of, I brought this case up because I thought it was so strange. So you're absolutely right, Chris. I'm not once bashing what you're saying. I'm just saying, we got to watch. That's all. So you're absolutely right, bro. I support you on that. But I just want to end that because I want to bring this up, because I just wanted to let you know it wasn't a typical mugging. It wasn't a typical mugging at all. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up for my Bostonians and Massachusetts people. So here's what's interesting. I know TikTok's still going, but for some reason it paused on that thing. So Chris, Maria, January 2025, Beverly. Chris, I think this is very interesting towards you because I know what you did. You did a lot of drug intel work, correct?
Correct.
You and God bless and rest your partner, the K9 that passed. But you guys did quite a few busts.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one happened in Beverly, Mass. You familiar with Beverly, Mass, Maria?
Very much so.
What type of community is Beverly, Mass?
Pretty affluent,
Right?
homogenized, if I can say that.
Right? I think you gotta make what, Chris? I don't know if you can look it up. 100,000 or more to live there, because that's where the homes are rated at. Right?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The medium. So this one has to do with ghost guns and a Nazi flag in the community. This guy's name is Matthew Scoris. He's 34 years old. What happened? He's arrested after FBI tips led Beverly police to search his home, where they found ghost guns, not gun, ghost guns. Now, Chris, what's a ghost gun?
Basically it's put together with parts and it doesn't have a serial number on it.
Oh, so it's
So-
homemade.
Ghost guns to me, right,
Essentially.
are plastic made guns that are undetected that your 3D printers can make for you. So they're undetected.
Wow.
Okay. So Chris's meaning is you could take them apart and put other parts on them. But the ghost guns that I'm aware of are actually made out of plastic and they shoot real bullets. And so they manufacture real bullets also. So they act that way. But here's the kicker. This guy lived in an affluential community in Beverly. He has Nazi flags. He has cash. He's been threatening posts online and ongoing threatening posts online. He had encouraged attacks on Jewish people. Okay. Past record. It's not clearly disclosed to public. Think about that, Chris. What else wasn't disclosed to the public with past record? Do you remember?
No.
I forget the guys from the Boston Marathon bombing.
Yeah.
They lived in Waltham. They had passed, but it wasn't disclosed to the public, so you wouldn't know it. But they had some terrorist backgrounds where they flew down and got trained by ISIS and stuff, right? But they were flagged by the FBI only for online extremism, right? How they found him, pretty interesting. Digital surveillance and tips from the federal intelligence flagged his online content, prompting a search warrant. Why it matters? Dangerous individuals are building arsenals at home. This guy was fully armed and mentally locked into violent hate. Okay. Now, once again, Chris, having your background, do you think this is just one guy?
No. No, there's many people like that. There's many survivalists, there's many extremists, there's many off color groups, we'll call them, that believe in certain crazy things. Every kind of supremacist out there.
So, Chris, I found that interesting. You said survivalist, right? What
Yeah.
do you mean? Like, I know a survivalist, I always thought was somebody that basically is going to go live out in the mountain because they don't want to live underneath the regime of taxes and all this stuff. So I'm going to go live in my tent in a mountain. That's how I look at a survivalist. But that was interesting that you referred to this as a survivalist. What does that mean?
Well, they can be good and bad survivalists. Now, keep in mind that person that you just mentioned, a survivalist could also be somebody who, like me, and I have a friggin' half my basement dedicated to canned food, because I think the end is near, and I'm relatively normal. I may talk a little bit weird about different stuff, but half my basement is filled with food. All right. So, but I don't.
I saw your basement. You have all video games.
That's right. I don't. But remember, the survivalist that you mentioned that lives in the woods who doesn't want to be under the regime, that's kind of an extremist right there. It just depends on how deep they take it. Like, haven't you seen 100 videos where a guy pulls over a guy, his license and registration? I don't have to identify you. I do not associate with this country, and I am.
Yeah, I have asylum.
I am a citizen of myself, and I don't have.
What's it, Chris? Sovereign. I'm sovereign.
I'm a citizen.
Yeah, I'm a sovereign citizen is the term.
I should try.
Yeah.
Yep. I operate underneath my own flag.
Yeah. So, and that person who maybe just could be anything from just a goofy, weird guy who doesn't have a license to an extremist, later on when they meet at night in their cloaks.
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
Chris,
So-
do you check the dates on those vegetable cans down there or your canned foods? They
They're
have
all
MPs.
good for 40 years, Maria. So
Yeah,
if you want to come
MRPs.
over and eat some MREs with me, or I have some.
There you go,
canned
MREs.
soup that's due to expire, so you can come over and we can have a soup party.
all set.
Chris's favorite meal is the macaroni and cheese. I love
Check
those
the
MREs.
dates. Ooh.
Hey, so
Yeah.
we're gonna move on to another story. Really, United flight to Boston, bro. I am really getting upset with this. And all the you watch it on TikTok, everyone pulls out their phone. So this incident happened coming from Boston. Broken spoon assault. What happened? The name Francisco Severo Torres. What happened? Torres assaulted a flight attendant midair using a broken metal spoon. First of all, for both of you, we fly. Where in the hell did you get a metal spoon? Where did you bring a metal spoon onto a plane?
Oh, he brought it on.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I
But
mean,
where did the metal
In
spoon come
first
from?
class, when you fly, you get real implements.
Oh, we're sorry, Maria. I didn't.
Just saying, Chris.
Chris, did you know that? I've flown first class and I've never gotten a metal spoon, but
you get a
Maria must
real-
be special.
I think maybe first class you might get it, but other than that, you get in plastic, Maria.
Yeah, I always thought
I know,
because
but first
yeah, we're
class-
gonna have to look that up because I've flown
Come on,
first
Maria,
class
you're
and
on
I've
the
gotten
back of the plane
plastic.
with me, Maria.
She also gets a Louis Vuitton seat, preferable club for her. So here's the interesting thing. Torres assaulted a flight attendant mid-air using a broken metal spoon, attempted to open the emergency door, and said he wanted to be shot to reincarnate. Okay? Past record. unknown mental health history, which I don't think we're gonna find out anyways, because due to the fact it's a flight thing, it wasn't like he applied to get a weapon. First offense of this nature. How they found him. Incident occurred live on the plane. Passengers and crew subdued him. Surveillance and witnesses reports back charges. Why it matters? Airlines are vulnerable. Spaces. He turned a regular flight into a terrifying event with nothing but a utensil and psychosis. What the hell is going on these flights where we're continuously having individuals like this? Anyone?
I think, people are a little bit insane. And you got to remember too, and I'm not making an excuse for it, but anything hits the news. And I don't know how many there are, but there's tens of thousands of flights probably every day. And again, it's not making an excuse for it, but there's a lot of flights and people get stressed out. And again, I'm making excuses, but tens of thousands of flights, something's bound to happen every week, right?
Yeah, but if we're sitting here and we're speaking, and this was, let's say, our era 20 years ago when we were in 30s, right? Do you recall any of this happening? Like, I remember we would take a plane, like when you were in college, they never made you take off your shoes. They never search you. You just went onto a plane and you flew somewhere. Where did it become such a kind of I don't know, a thing that now we're doing terroristic acts to come on a plane? And I believe you should be held underneath the Terrorism 9/11 Act and be indicted on this, because that's not a threat on one person. You're trying to take a whole plane. You're trying to basically open up the door, which is 100 to 200 people in it. And then all of a sudden the plane crashes and you might kill other people. I think that's a terrorist act. So I don't think you should be held liable for just bringing a spoon and trying to attack and say, well, it was a simple assault and battery charge or an attempted assault. This person should be held liable anytime, any actions, any infractions that occur on a plane, because now you're being held responsible for everyone that's on it. Maria.
Obviously, I have to bring a little humor.
Okay, this is
So
going to
you-
be interesting, Chris.
So
I just said terrorist act in 9/11. Maria
no,
goes,
no.
I got to bring a little
Because you
humor.
made me think about when I mean, this could be TWA era, but think about the one thing
We don't
they-
want to talk about Spirit. Eh?
No. God, no. Think about what used to happen in the planes back in those days.
You could drink. I remember us taking
Smoke.
a plane.
You could smoke.
You could do anything.
I'm telling you, people are you go crazy when you can't get that nicotine, or now people are vaping and stuff. So I guess my humor is to say maybe we need to bring back the smoking and vaping.
So
on the
how about
planes.
people like me or Chris that don't smoke and we don't like the smell of it and we don't like to inhale it?
Well, that brings me on to another thing about
So I think you
flights.
guys should have your own plane.
Oh, I
Call
love
it the
that.
smokers plane. That way the cigar smokers and everybody can be on it and you guys can just kill each other's lungs.
So let me,
yourselves.
so here's
I
my.
think,
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I think you're just kind of backing me up a little bit in saying that, flying is stressful. People can't smoke.
Yeah.
People can't do this. And it brings out, the semi-crazies turn crazy and the crazies turn real crazy. And to back up my number, I just researched it. There are approximately 45,000 flights on an average day, every day, just in the US.
Wow.
But how many incidents occurred on those 45,000 flights?
But I didn't look at that, but that's what I'm saying. So if we hear about 3 instances a week, we're like, holy shit, it's happening all the time. But 3 instances a week, that's like 325,000 flights, and we had 3 problems. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to rationalize it. That's 1 in 100,000 flights that we have a problem. But yet, if you hear something 3 times a week, you're gonna be like, holy crap, it's happening again.
So it faces you a little. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Ali?
Yeah, no, too far. Now it's just like, yeah, right. That's perfect. So I just think that, and it doesn't matter if you agree or disagree with me. Maybe Tommy will agree if he's still there. I know Mr. Park Ranger out in Texas. He's got to chase some chipmunks. I just think you should be held accountable at a higher arrest, because
I think you are.
I don't think you are, Chris. I've looked it up, and it's been basically you get hit with a ticket, and then if the airline wants to pursue the charges to incarcerate you or whatever, they do it. But because it's like taking up valuable time, and they just kind of just pass it and ban you from flying on their plane.
That's weird.
But I don't think that's fair.
No.
I think that if I'm on there and I'm with my family, think about the trauma a 6-year-old or 7-year-old child is going to now incur. Now I'm
PTSD.
now I'm gonna have to deal with my child saying, I don't want to go on the plane. I don't want it. Because now, guess what? It's not funny because some of these children might have to now go seek counseling because maybe we do fly all the time, and now my child's in fear of some moron. Or even take, for instance, someone our age is now has anxiety to fly. So it's not even fair. What does Tommy say?
I'll be flying out on United next month to Crazyville, Mass. Come say hi. I will always hate flying there. LOL.
Bro, you should never hate flying back because you know we're booking a date. We're even going to do a podcast, me and Chris, and you're physically going to be here. I want you in your Ranger outfit too, so you better come in with the hat on and everything. So I want to move on to that because I know this is not an in-state one, but because we were discussing something and I brought up the word recidivism, right, which I can never say correctly. Here's the thing that's in Connecticut, right? Southside Bandit, this guy's name. He returns. Wilfredo Alacron, 57 years old. 57 years old. What happened? Chris, you ready? Because I know you're going to love this. He was he was paroled in September 2024 after a string of robberies, which, Chris, what does a string of robberies mean?
Multiple.
Multiple.
One after the other.
Yep. Thank you. One after the other. 100% correct. And you understand that because your years on the street. He started from Massachusetts and New Hampshire. So he worked his way robbing from Massachusetts all the way to New Hampshire. Nobody got him. In April 2025, he robbed a Connecticut bank with a gun just 7 months after his release. Past record, infamous for a string of 2010 bank robberies. Known nickname in law enforcement, the Southside Bandit. How they found him. Surveillance videos, witness IDs, and evidence found in his vehicle in Rhode Island led to a multi-state arrest. Why it matters. This proves parole can't fail hard. Can fail hard. Known criminals with past MOs often don't change. Early release risk public safety. Now, Chris, let me ask you, because I know Maria doesn't know this. I go in and rob a bank and I don't have my mask on. Am I held at the same charge as being masked?
I believe there's an additional charge if you're masked.
Exactly. There is many years additional charge. So if I walk in and rob a bank and show my face, I'm good, right? I'm good because they might hit me for 2 to 3 years, and then one for having an illegal gun if it's illegal. So you have this guy, dude, and I'm gonna be honest with you. He robbed so many goddamn banks. I'm like, how did this guy get out so early? No comment.
I believe there is an upcharge if you imply that you have a gun, even if you don't have a gun.
If you imply.
Yeah. Even if you don't have one, it's proven later that you didn't have one. By implying there's an upcharge for that.
But it's like, we're talking 2010, right? We're all the way in 2025, and the guy just did it all over again. He hasn't stopped from 2010. He went to jail. He got out 7 months later. He was right back to it. I just don't understand it. I just think all three of these crimes, hate-fueled threats, mid-air assaults, and repeat robbery, share one common theme: either failure of monitoring or failure of prevention. Whether it's FBI tips, airline risk, or parole lapse, these events are all force us to ask the harder question. Use these segments to go deep. How did we get here? What policies allow these people to slip through? And how do we prevent the next one? So I think these are tips that all of us take into consideration, and we should practice these things in our heads. If this was to happen in front of me, what do we do? For instance, all the situations that occur on trains and assaults that occur, right? How do they correct it, and what do they do now? Remember the one with that guy in New York? God bless her. Guy got up, sprinkled gas on her, lit her on fire, and she just sat there. She didn't scream. She didn't anything. She burned to death while this guy just kept spraying her down with gas and then just walked away. Then they caught him. He was just sitting outside the train on the wall. They went and arrested him.
That's a crazy story.
Just happened.
Sad.
Just happened. So, Chris, I want to move on to this because this kind of reminded me of you. And
Oh,
not in a bad, I guess in a bad way, right? Because what does Chris make appointments to avoid talk?
Massages.
Chris got this new thing, everyone, where he goes in and gets massages now because his legs and his butt are so tight. He gets 2 massages. 2 hours.
baby.
He got 2 hours, okay?
I'm asking my girl if she'll go 3, but she won't do it.
All right. So, Chris,
Wow.
first of all, you don't have to disclose the town, but in my head, I'm thinking it's in Maynard. But we're going to go from sleepy towns to elite suburbs. Brothels are hiding in plain sight.
Mhm.
2 women, 1 spa, in the network that reach from Cambridge boardrooms, bro. Like literally to DC hotel rooms. This isn't fiction. It's Massachusetts in 2025. So, Chris, this reminded me of you because you're like, oh, I can't do it because I got to go for a massage. So let's start. Location, Maynard. Chris, does it sound familiar?
Not to me. Haven't been there, no.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, it's a quiet little town that just made big headlines, brother. 2 women, excuse me if I said your name wrong, prostitutes. Jiang Ping Wu, who's 68 years old, Chris, you dirty boy, 68 years old, and Mai Ying Cheng, who's 57, were arrested at a place called Asian Spa on Main Street, not for massage licenses, but for running a full-blown brothel out of the 2nd floor. When cops kicked in the door, they found phones, ledgers, cash, client records, everything you would expect in a criminal operation. What are the charges? Come on, Chris, you know you were there. Deriving support from prostitution, keeping a house of prostitution, performing sexual conduct for a fee. Both women pleaded not guilty. Please give me bail. One got 5,000, the other got 10,000. Chris, you carry that much money to bail people out? But but here's what got me. This was a full DHS, Massachusetts State Police and local PD operation. When Homeland Security shows up to the main spa, you know it's not your average bust. All those people showed up. Isn't that interesting though, bro? You have DHS, strange. You're having you guys, Mass State Police. You're having the local PD, and you're having Homeland Security show up. So when you go into bust people, Chris, do you usually use all those people, or you guys handle the tack inside yourself? That's why it kind of. I said, wow, I want to ask Chris this because I personally didn't know this. So you guys called the town and work with all them when you guys have a case?
They probably called us in, or there are many, many, many task force. They call it a task force out there, where, our guys, I know one of my guys been assigned to a DEA task force for more than 10 years. So, and what they do is the DEA task force will grab a guy from, several different towns, and they call it a task force. So when an arrest happens, it might sound a lot bigger than it is because the task force grabs them up and they got cops from 5 different towns plus the state police. So, it's not like they had 3 cops from every town. It was like there was 1 cop from every town there. So in the task force, state police probably came because it was on a main road, or it could have been on 117, which might be a state highway.
Interesting.
But,
Chris never heard of it. Could be on 117, the highway.
yeah, could be. It's too far for me to go for that.
All right. So, Chris, let me ask you this. But Maynard wasn't the only place exposed this year. You dirty boy. It says just months ago, Han Lee, the ringleader of a high-end prostitution network operating out of Cambridge and Watertown, was sentenced to 4 years in federal prison. Her brothels, which in my head, I was thinking Han was a guy name. So that threw me off. So my apologies to you and Jill. Her brothels hidden in luxury apartments, her clients, college professors, executives, and politicians, even Pentagon personnel. Okay. From 2020 to 2023, she earned over $5.6 million. Her operation ran like a tech startup, bro. Discreet bookings, encrypted chats, rotating women flown in from state. This wasn't some back room deal. This was a corporate level sex trafficking with Ivy League money behind the curtain.
Sounds like Heidi Fleisch.
So but you're right. But here's my thing. Did any of you hear about this?
No.
So wouldn't you think, Chris, and we're going to go back to the beginning of the podcast, and I know today we've gone long and I love it because it's some good conversation, but why didn't we hear about this if it had to do with college professors? Like what happened? These people weren't indicted also? Executives, politicians, and Pentagon personnel. Weren't we just talking about things that go on in-house there and why we don't know about it? And these people are the people that represent us in today's society. This college professors got busted, or the people that basically teach our children. Now we know they're a bunch of sexual predators or freaking whatever you want to say they are, because these are the people that are going in.
Well, I don't know if it's the same one, but there was recently, a bust that came on the news, and they showed 10 of the guys had to get up there, and there were some politicians in there. I don't know if it was the same one or a different one, but there are, the problem is they expose some people, but not all people. If you got enough power, you don't get exposed.
Kind of like the Epstein thing. The
Because aren't they
Epstein.
fighting to get a list out?
Yeah.
Some list.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been trying to get.
Yeah.
And it's still not out.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. The only reason why I had brought this up is because I know Chris blew us off to go for his 2-hour massage. So I needed to look into his location and where he's going. But luckily, it hasn't popped up yet, but we will soon expect it to pop up. So here's the truth. Whether it's a local spa or a luxury penthouse, these brothels don't care what town they're in. They just care who's paying. Think about it. Are we just scratching the surface? How many wellness spas do you pass every day with blacked out windows and a line of cars that doesn't match the storefront? In Cambridge, it was CEO style madams. In both cases, the buyers were local professionals, fathers, sons. That's what makes this topic uncomfortable. And that's why we're talking about it, because someone has to blow the lid off the false sense of quiet. So it's happening in established communities. Whether it's brothels don't need neon lights anymore, just a sign that says open, and a town that's too quiet to ask questions, you're listening.
Do you know that happened in
location.
Woburn?
No.
It's on Main Street.
Oh, wasn't there one in Washington Street that was busted
It was
recently?
right on Main Street, and there was, I guess this little group moved from Stoneham and went on Main Street in Woburn.
Huh.
Oh,
Okay.
isn't that really, really close to where you live?
I wasn't going to say
Might
that.
be. I might have moved a couple of miles away from it. But maybe every Sunday after I go to church, I might show up to release myself from all the anguish and anger I have. So listen, I know we went very, very long, but I thought it was interesting. So now we're going to dedicate it to Maria's moment for the next 15 minutes to 10 minutes. You notice I went backwards because in case we have to razz her about some shit.
No. We'll keep it. I mean, you guys were heavy today. That was a lot of heavy stuff.
What do you mean? Me and Chris just said we lost over 30 pounds. What are you talking about?
I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe
I
that.
just thought it was great, like conversation of those topics that occurred and happened. So hold on, give it Maria a moment. So forget about us, Maria. We give you this entail so you can give us this. What's the word I'm looking for, Chris?
Insight.
No, I didn't type. Is your name Chris?
Sorry.
See, once again, what should we refer to Maria's section today?
Maria's memories, Maria's memoirs.
Maria's memoirs.
How about just my damn complaints? I have
There we
complaints
go.
about everything.
Maria's
Oh my
complaints.
God.
Does Maria want to talk about today how she wants to support cigarettes, but yet almost burned her house down
You don't
today?
need to say that.
Huh?
You don't need to say that.
Of course I need
No,
to say
no, you
that.
Chris,
So,
we'll talk
go
about
ahead.
it. No, no, no. I want to say that the three of us are all in the same age group, correct?
Look at that.
Some of us younger,
Some of us younger. Chris, you must be talking about me.
but
Yeah.
at what point in our adult life did you start feeling like, oh my God, I'm officially old, or I've become my mom or my dad?
Sad part is never.
Really?
No,
Chris?
what I started feeling was as I started getting older, I got lazier. And then I realized, damn, I got to get back to where I was physically, but never mentally or anything. I still think I'm 17. I'm still a dope.
Can you grab me my phone in there?
I mean, yeah, you do act 17, but how many times? I agree with you, Maria, because how many times do you look at a younger person and like, I don't know whether they're fucking 28 or 14.
Correct.
I have no clue. I cannot judge
Anyone
ages
under 30
anymore.
is 14 to me.
Yeah, but you know, it's so hard to judge ages, especially of girls. You know, but guys, you know, guys still look goofy.
Well,
You know,
dude,
you look at a girl, it's like, you know,
I just saw an old friend of mine, Fred Santini, great guy, known him since I was a child, 08, at his house and everything. He just told me his grandson at 13 years old is 6'1". I don't remember anybody being 6'1", even though when I went to the Vogue in 7th grade, we had this kid, Chris Bermonti, and I thought he was a teacher because he had a full beard.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was strange. So
kids are bigger nowadays. That's
hey,
true.
how tall are your kids?
Chris is almost 6'5".
Yeah, my daughter's 5'11".
You know, but your ex is tall. It comes a lot from the
Once
wife,
again, I get
from the woman.
hijacked. We fell off.
You were
Maria's
talking about
moment.
age. Go ahead, Maria.
All right. So I was shopping the other day and I said, oh my God, I've gotten old. So in front of me, this is not a really perfect picture as to what I saw. So Chris, it's a
She
picture.
looks like she has booty shorts on.
It was a picture
Do
of a
the
young
picture.
girl.
Do the picture.
All right. I'm not showing her face though.
You don't have to show her face. That's not.
So I'm behind her at the grocery store. And her butt cheeks were literally hanging out of her shorts. And she had a halfy little tank top and beautiful, beautiful. And I didn't want to look at her, but I couldn't stop. And I remembered how my mom used to make us like do the parade to show what we were wearing and what was appropriate to go to school with. And I said, I'm officially became my mom. And I got into this conversation with the cashier. And she's like, it's unbelievable what I see, the way these young girls dress. And even you guys that are really young, like, what's up with your underwear showing, you know, above your pants? I don't need that. It's like uncomfortable, but it's almost like a train wreck. You can't stop. But I felt old. I felt like I was 100 years old.
Not to cut you off, I'm going to tell you two things. So yesterday, me and the wife went for a walk, and this kid was walking by. To me, I'm confused when I wear shorts, my shirt's hanging out, and I'm walking. This kid had his t-shirt tucked into his shorts, had his shorts pulled up. Dr. Wong, you're on. Tell me I'm lying. Had his shorts pulled up easily almost up to his breast. And the left side, you can see his ball bags, like just sitting there all squished up and choked up. And in my head, I was thinking, how does this feel comfortable? You're obviously walking for exercise, but why are your shorts pulled up that high? And it threw me off. And as we're walking by, and I'm like, did you just see it? She goes, of course I just saw it. It was just like right in front of your face. So I thought that was comical. But I'm going to go back because, Chris, we're all around the same ages. I remember when me and my sister went to school, we had to turn around and get gym clothes. So we would have to go to this place called Silverman's. And you would have to buy this T-shirt that flips black or orange, right? It was a whole conspiracy in that town. They would just wanted to make money. Then they would make you get these shorts. Now, I know for a fact the girls' shorts, their butts were coming out of them because that's how they were supposed to wear them, short. So you would have the teachers and everybody say you need to return those shorts. They don't fit. You got to go smaller. I know for a fact because you used to have a teacher there. I believe his name was Boo Boo. and he would have girls sharpen the pencils that had mini skirts on. And because the mini skirts were so short, he put the pencil sharpener so high. So as they're sharpening it, they would sharpen it up here so the skirts go up. So if you don't remember this, Maria, we did live in that era. Girls did wear booty shorts. They also, guys wore half shirts with parachute pants that were very tight and very revealing. And remember, we used to put bandanas around our ankles in our era. So we did live in that era. The thing is now you're looking at it and now you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they're wearing that.
That's what I'm saying.
When
I'm
we
old.
did, when we wore it,
I
but
got
we
old.
wore it.
I know, but I'm just saying my mom, I mean, I couldn't even have leopard underwear or bra because
Maria, you used to
was-
sneak out of the house with what you wore, what
Totally,
you wanted
totally.
to wear
Oh
in
my
a
God,
bag.
I-
So your mother
I
wouldn't see
brought the
it.
makeup in and I wore the heels in like fifth
Yes,
grade. I'm not denying that, but I'm just going to say it was so funny because for the first time in my life, I actually felt that I was old. I was really judging this beautiful young lady on the fact that her butt was hanging out the whole time. And she's with her mother, who seemed very proud.
Well, let me ask you this. You work out, you train, obviously. So how do you feel about the girls that dress that way in the gym? When they basically wear these tight pants and wear these broad looking things and they work out in it. Does it help your workout? Is that why they're wearing it?
Do you
Or
want
what
the
is it about?
truth?
No, I want you to lie to me. That's what me and Chris want.
More power
Lie.
to you, sister. And I am completely jealous because we grew up. There's no body shaming. There's no judging anybody. I wish that I had the courage to walk around and be comfortable in my body, like being exposed that way. So I say bravo. Go for it, girlfriend. You rock it.
So, Chris, how do you feel about women that are basically dressed? Because me personally, I don't even really pay attention, but when I do pay attention, okay, Chris giving me the okay sign. I'm not even lying because to be honest with you, my hat's tilted down and I ask anyone. I talk, but I'm so like, I just want to get it in and out because I want to get out. But what I think is some females are great because they clean the machine or whatever.
Always.
But sometimes the ones that basically barely have anything on are sweating so bad that they go on it and they leave a ton of sweat on the machines. That's what I get upset about. I don't care what you wear. I just say same thing with a guy. You got a tank top on and you got your back on, just clean the machines. I don't care what you have on, but please clean the machines. That's my only crutch about it. I think like I agree with my sister totally. If you work out and you're very, very happy with your body, we come from a different era. We would wear the world's gym tank tops and stuff, but I always loved my bum outfits and my Michael T. Gare shirts. I love my stuff baggy. So I'm just different. You know that. I used to wear the clown pants, spot built shoes. I love that crap.
This should have been brought up as far as the gym conversation 2 shows ago, because remember I hogged the space, and I cleaned off my sweat and all my good stuff, and I was prepared for me, and I got interrupted, but we'll leave that for Felipe.
I don't know what that gets. What's that got to do with it?
Because you were talking about how people
close.
show up and they like sweat and do all of that stuff, and that was my point when the guy was interrupting my workout.
No, your point is you took 6
sweat.
pieces of equipment.
No, I did.
And own how many pieces did you have?
I was on the adductor.
1.
I had 1 10-pound plate.
2.
And I had an exercise ball.
3. So you had 3 things, right?
Doing my circuit.
So I don't care about the ball and I don't care about the weight. Well, my complaint was you took a machine. So
there was another machine. That's all I was trying to.
Okay, if there was another machine that was available, he could have. Then it made no sense to take yours. I'm not disagreeing.
Thank you.
I would have said there's an open machine over here. I'm doing sets. You didn't say it though, did she, Chris?
Yes,
did
I
she say
did.
It?
We can go
did
back.
She say? She said there was another lady.
I'm willing to bet that there weren't 2 abductors.
There was
an abductor and Well, one that goes in and one that goes out.
Yeah, there's an
but
inner
at
abductor and
my
outer
gym,
abductor.
they have two of the
Right, so
same
I'm
next to
thinking
each other.
That he wanted to use the same, the one that goes in or whatever. When
No,
she
no,
was
no, no.
using.
There was two because her conversation was the lady got off it and said,
You can
you
take
can
mine.
take mine. So there was two, and I'm not disagreeing. But at that time, he decided to go over and share
Two,
with Maria.
side
I'm
by
not saying
side.
that
There
it
I
isn't.
am, my
It's
little
Planet
section.
Fitness. They have two of
Little
everything.
section.
No, no, no. But I do remember she said another lady was on the other one, but got off it and did the hospitality thing and said you can share it or you can use mine.
Right,
Maria
but at the
just
moment
said-
when he walked up, both machines were busy.
Yes, correct.
Including mine.
But
Right.
Maria wasn't on it, Chris. She was doing her other set.
Yeah, for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
No. Oh my God, you guys are so full of it.
Maria, let me ask you one last question because
We've totally gone over.
Okay, I don't know how Felipe doesn't notice any of these beautiful women and the things that they wear at the gym.
Hold on,
because
I never said
he's
that.
constantly telling me he have to go to his gym to check out all the super hot women. So I don't know where he knows that there's super hot women at his gym. I don't know.
Because he has a
He doesn't-
beautiful wife. He's not wasting
here's
his
the funny
energy
thing.
on that.
Here's the funny thing is, I told Chris to come to the gym because he was like, oh, I can't motivate myself to work out. I can't do this. I said, well, dude, you're down here for the podcast. Come to my gym. So I love how Chris tries to throw me under the bus, but I'm not going to accept the throwing. I said, the gym's incredible. I like it. No one bothers me. It's got the equipment. And on top of it, they're reconstructing it right now. So it's even going to kick up. Unbelievable amount of equipment. No one bugs me. I do my thing.
But who doesn't want eye candy?
I don't.
Who does?
Nothing about the women. Okay. All
No,
right.
we can talk all we want about women.
Everybody needs eye candy.
Listen, Chris, in my lifetime, I'm 55 years old now, brother. All that drama's behind, all of it. I want to grow mentally. I want my awareness to open up because I've lived half a century and I know the other half is supposed to be for enjoyment and longevity because now the years are now going to the other way. So now I need to do everything and anything I can do to enjoy what God has blessed us with. Time.
That was my question. When did you think you were old? And he just answered it.
I don't think I'm old.
With that long.
But I don't think I'm old, though. That's the problem. I just know in
Yeah, but
lifespan.
all right. So you have reached the mature part of life where you're saying, I need to fill in the blank with what you just
I
said.
need to enjoy because I realize now
So
instead of the years building forward, when you hit 50, the years start going the opposite way because every time you get older, it's closer to your number of life terming. So if you don't do what you believe that you were placed here for, meaning whatever it is, if you feel, oh, I'm going to work for another 30 years and this and that, boo on you because you're never going to do at 80 years old what you think. Half of your medical, half of your things, they're healthy 80-year-olds, healthy 90-year-olds. You see them all the time. But part of your life at that age is going to be doctor appointments. It's going to be everything. You're going to surround yourself with other things that you never gave yourself opportunity with. So I say when you hit that age, you need to enjoy everything that you can enjoy. Money's money, but if you don't go away and if you don't indulge and do what you do and build yourself to move forward, forget about it because you're going to miss so much that you could go. Like me, I always wanted to go Hawaii because I saw the Brady Bunch, right? I wasn't waiting until I was 60, 70. I went to Hawaii, me and my wife. We had a great time, except for freaking driving down, whatever begins with an N. That highway was crazy. But other than that, it was a great time. And I didn't do it when I was 60, when I hear people that are 60 and 70 going, oh, I finally got to go to Hawaii. Come on, that's not enjoying it. Come on, you couldn't do half of the stuff you could when you were in your 50s or 40s. So I think when you get to that, don't take away anything from yourself. Buy what you want to buy. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. It is what it is.
Maria's moments hijacked by some sober
You asked me a
moments.
question.
was like,
I
oh
said
my
I wasn't. I don't look at being old.
God.
So
Good to see you, Chris.
Good to see you too, kid.
And P.S. I get a massage once a month
from a girl.
from Jenny Silva, the best in Woburn. the best.
Oh God.
Helps me with my
She
sciatica.
is.
but
She's good. She beats
enjoy
on
your
you,
massages.
but she's very, very jacked. She'll break you.
She's awesome.
So listen, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. For those of you that are going to catch it later on, thank you so much. Please DM us. Let us know. Friday, we'll be doing one with Dr. Winnie Wong, and we're going to be discussing the Blue Zone and some other stuff because I was being asked some stuff about NAD and glutathione and some interesting questions about peptides. So we're going to bring that all into it also. So what can I say? You guys all stay blessed, safe, and I hope God blesses you with everything and anything you desire. Maria, anything you want to say?
No.
How about goodbye?
For one moment, I got hijacked, so I lost my train of thought. But God bless and namaste.
All right, Chris, anything?
Anything, I'm good. Good show. Went long. So
Totally.
I'll talk to you next week.
All right, brother. Be
Bye.
blessed. All right, everybody on Facebook, mad love and respect. Ray, what's up, brother? All right.
Hey, Maria.
To everybody on
Talk to
YouTube,
me.
everybody be blessed. And
Think
thank
wait,
you so much.
Let me say this one last thing to Maria. Maria, but when you think about it, our life is 3/4 over.
I don't think about
Right?
it.
I didn't know the numbers, but you're correct. I didn't want you to
Well, think
say.
about it. If you live to about 80, if you're 60, you live to 80, it's 3/4 over.
Hi, Martha.
Martha, what's up? Hey,
Martha.
this is who you need. Hey, see, everybody on YouTube,
Why can we see them?
That's his back.
you can see
His
me.
back is in the way.
My back.
Get out of the way. Let me see your sister.
Hi,
yeah.
Mama. So
See,
good to see
that's who you
you.
need to have on the podcast. Somebody smart, Chris.
Are you telling your brother off, Maria?
Maria comes in for a couple minutes at the end and
And-
talks about how she can't go to the
All
bathroom
right.
at the gym.
And
Hold
they
on, I gotta hang
hijack.
up on the podcast.
Are you guys
See you
talking to
later.
the gym about gym stuff?
Yeah, we just whatever.
Yeah.
Gyms.